So I started this beat some days ago, and now I'm trying to finish it up. This is volume 1. This is episode 1. Excuse me. This is episode 1 of Behind the Beat. So I'll let you listen to what I got so far. And see, I added a second. That's snare, that essential snare. Like something ain't right with it. So I'm kind of different. Like I've been procrastinating about doing any of this. I've experienced some trauma here lately. I had the death of a nephew right before his 18th birthday, and just have a lot going on. So I'm trying to figure out where to start, and I just didn't know. So at this point, I just said I'm just gonna start and see where it goes. Yeah, yeah. I feel all over the place emotionally too, but I'm trying to use those emotions to actually help me create something, and hopefully something powerful, or something like a powerful beat comes out of it actually. So that's what I'm hoping to do with this. So let me see how this sounds, because I took a couple of snare rolls out of this just to see. And I haven't named this beat yet either. I'm trying to think what I wanna name it. I haven't named it yet either. I'm still listening for that, so I ain't named it quite yet either. Sounds better without the snare roll, because I think it sounded too busy. Because the melody is kind of busy. Like one thing I'm trying to remember is to keep everything simple, but keep it simple, but still yet engaging at the same time. So I think it sounds a little bit better that way. Um, I actually use I still kind of stick with this thing where I use one VST, and this is the actual VST that I use. I think it's called a Jupe 8V. I was in this season where I was just buying VSTs, and I know everybody gets not saying everybody, but most producers that I've watched, it was like, don't go out and buy a whole bunch of VSTs. I did the complete opposite. I went and bought every VST that I thought I needed to make my beats sound good. And the problem was I just didn't know how to properly use most of them. So, yeah, don't be like me. Don't buy all the VSTs. Kind of pick a couple of VSTs. But what I do try to do is I try to use one VST to get the sound that I'm looking for. I don't look to jump from VST to VST to make a beat. That's just as of right now, because I'm trying to learn different VSTs. So if I take one and kind of learn that VST when I'm doing a certain beat, then I can see what I get. I have a bunch of. I use the Band for Band by Chew. I use his template as far as mixing. And then these drums are from J Cactus. I actually like his drums too. And then for like the first sound, I use RC20 pretty much on some of everything. Some EQ, some gross beat. Like I've been trying to experience with trying to get movement and sounds and different things like that. So this is a bunch of experimentation stuff. yet again some more RC20 Portal on the second sound. And I try not to use no more than 5 sounds. Um, but as you can see, I have 6 on this only because I have a piano at the for the bass. So trying something different too that I saw. Sorry about that. My nose is itching. And I like using the bass. So same thing, pretty much some RC20. It's always some EQ, some reverb, and some delay on most sounds. And then everything is routed to a bus. And Chu has these these powerful melody bus presets that I have been using, and it's been making my melodies, I think, sound pretty good. And then the sends as well. He has a bunch of Convolva Sends presets in this band for band pack, so you can grab that if you want to too. And these actually been making my beats sound good, and the way that I learned from him, because that's actually what happened. Like, I learned the majority of everything that I know from watching his beat. I actually won a free copy of the producer edition of FL Studio from him, and I was like, man, I gotta do something with this free version that I've won. So I started making beats, and now I'm deciding to go behind the beats and just kind of explain everything on like where my creativity and stuff should come from. And like I said, I'm in this place where like I don't necessarily even know where to start, so I'm just kind of talking until I find my way through. But yeah, I'm using all the emotions that I'm experiencing and going through right now to help me create, and I hope that it comes out with something powerful. And if it's not, then I think it was just a good way for me to attempt to help process some of the emotions that I'm going through, because I'm realizing something with grief that it's something I have to adjust to. It's gonna come and it's gonna go. So I'm trying to learn to adjust to grief at the same time. Yeah, I'm just arranging right now. So, and I can't even remember the mindset that I was in when I made this one. Like I said, a bunch of emotions everywhere. I can't remember. Maybe this sounds a little melancholy, a little sad, and I'm sure I'm in that place of a little melancholy and a little sad. So. be kind of finished. I don't want to overthink this anymore. I tend to do that when I'm making my beats. Like I'll take like 3 or 4 days to mix something and realize like it was already good, and I'll overmix. Because there's a part of me that's a classic. Like I'm a classic overthinker. Um, Sometimes I get, I wouldn't say I get um being perfect and then like giving the best that you have at something. Sometimes I get that mixed up sometimes. So once I realize like hey, you put your all into this and like you've done it correctly, like this is finished. Um, Out of a fear of it not being good enough almost. So like I have to force myself and push myself to say like, hey, this is done, this is finished. This is the best you can do with this project. Like I have to start something new. So if there is something that I need to learn, like I'll learn it in the next one. Hold on, let me see who's this. Nobody important. Um. So yeah, like now um I'm gonna use now just like a couple of transitions. And guys, don't forget to save. Like I've done that so many times. Like forget to save. That is crazy. Like so, don't forget to save. Um. So yeah. So now I'm just gonna use some transitions. Um. Yeah, I'm just gonna use some transitions now, and I think this part like this would be done. I know I said this was behind the beat, but this was a short behind the beat. So hopefully when I start the next one, um, I'll be a little bit I'll be a little bit more mindful. So yeah, I kind of just copy the transitions over and over, like over to the next spots. And then I went, like, I had a girls' weekend vacation, and then so I went there, and I was like, well, when I come back, I'll be refreshed and revived, and which I was. But guess what? Yesterday I was food poisoned, so I was sick all day yesterday. So it's like, whatever it is that you're trying to do, like, you just gotta just do it, because something always, like, just seems like to show itself, and you have to make a decision. And I even put this off. I was like, well, I'm going to just wait till I'm feeling better. I'm not necessarily feeling better, but I was like, I'm going to do this anyway. So this is me doing this anyway. And if this is really choppy, that is why. I'm just doing it anyway. This might need a bell too, just like at the beginning. Like it might need a bell. I think. Let me see if I can find one. A tubular bell. I think I have one. Let's see. a church bell. I'm gonna see. I don't know if that's gonna work though. Undefeated. Yep. I think I'm gonna need it. I think I'm gonna need it. I think I'm I think I'm gonna name it Undefeated. And so this is the end of it. Like, I'm gonna just export this. I'm finna upload this. I think this is actually done, and it's just a E minor. It's an E minor. Here's the chord progression. Cause I'm actually uh, teaching myself how to play the keys, cause I want to play my melodies like a little bit more, not so on the grid, more seamlessly. So I'm taking up piano, and I'm teaching myself how to play the piano, so I can actually, so I can just play better melodies, more cohesive melodies for me, I think. Um, so yeah, this is like the base of the chords that I played. Not I played, that I came up with. So yeah, I'm going to export this, and then I'm going to post this video to YouTube, and y'all let me know. I'm just documenting my journey. If somebody watches it, I'm just documenting what I got going on, and I don't necessarily know where to start, and I can't keep procrastinating or putting it off because it has to be a certain way. I just have to just start. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you have more questions, you can drop them down in the comments, and I'll hear from you, and I'll see you guys soon. And yeah, I'm not gonna edit this either, so I ain't gonna edit it either. So yeah, you can see all my mistakes and everything. So yeah, you guys have a good day.